Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this episode, we watched The Medallion.
But more Jackie Chan movies. More
Poor blimey, there are no Irish people in Ireland.
More Jackie Chan movies with his weird, unusual assistant choice.
Yeah, what's your guys' history with this one?
I loved this film as a kid because of course I fucking did.
I'd never seen it before. And was shook by the casting.
Yeah, you know how when we did the Tuxedo, I was like, I'm not sure if I watched the Tuxedo or the Medallion.
Was it the Medallion?
See, I'm still slightly not too sure. It was probably the Tuxedo, because this film was so fucking mind-numbingly boring and shit that I'd have forgotten it anyway.
I still think this is better than the Tuxedo.
I did not enjoy it. It takes over half of the fucking movie for the Medallion to actually fucking do something.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a Tuxedo where Jackie Chan's just a normal guy who then gets...
No, he's already like martial arts.
Like, he can already do martial arts. So then when he gets like superpowers that he uses maybe twice, I was like, I was so disappointed by this. I guess just smashing Jackie Chan with a random white comedian doesn't always work. Because what the fuck is Lee Evans doing in this movie?
No, that's a
exactly. I mean, that was my first question: was why? And then bloody who even fucking wrote his lines?
No one. It was improv, but bad.
Well, I thought there was definitely. It was almost like he was playing two characters, which was they let Lee Evans do Lee Evans' thing, which I found quite entertaining. Or he had to do scripted lines where they were just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very bad.
And he was suddenly very British again.
You could tell when he was just being Lee Evans, though.
Yeah.
His faces. Doing that little monkey face.
We should explain to people who Lee Evans is, because I don't think he did well anywhere else.
No, he's a British comedian, but he is great. Like, I love his stand-up. He was in Mouse Hunt, which we have also watched for this podcast.
So he was just like really famous, really funny comedian in like the late 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, and then in about 2014 it was, he just released his last special and then he was like, I'm done.
I'm done. He just retired. Yeah. Which, good on him. He was a comedian that stopped at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
But he also like acted in a few things. Most of them made sense. This film absolutely does not make sense.
This definitely does not.
He's playing he's playing an Interpol agent who is really clumsy and bad.
He's a bad Interpol. Like, whoever part of me is really happy that they cast him, because it's just an insane pairing.
With the Tuxedo, it's dumb Jackie Chan with suave, clever British spy.
Yeah.
Whereas this is kind of decent Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Police officer with terrible Interpol.
This is probably the most average I've ever seen Jackie Chan, because even the stunt work in this just isn't that impressive.
Oh no, it's bland.
Really you mean what, just speeding it up and playing it at double speed isn't impressive?
Oh no, I even mean before the 45-minute mark when he finally gets the medallion, where he sometimes jumps off of things.
I still consider the film better than the Tuxedo.
I'd rather watch this film again, but I enjoyed this. I had a good time watching this film.
Like, for a movie called The Medallion, you'd think that it should have been called The Boy, because is just trying to find the fucking boy the whole time.
You can't call it The Boy, because then he'll have to climb out the walls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Brahms will turn up.
No, because
a film we have never talked about on here properly, but we keep referencing it.
No, the movie with Brahms in would be called The Medallion, obviously.
That's true.
But it just takes so long to actually get to the point of that doing anything. The whole movie up until that is, these people are after this boy and we've got to stop him, and that's it.
Just chase scene after chase scene after chase scene.
Until Jackie Chan dies and then the medallion brings him back to life with some superpowers.
Though, like, he gets yeeted off a container ship. In a container and drowned.
That could have happened 20 minutes into this film, and we would have had more time with superpowered Jackie Chan, and it would have been way better.
counterpoint to that is superpowered Jackie Chan is shit and boring. The interesting bit
the whole
is
film
when
is,
he's
so,
like
you know.
actually fighting.
Yeah.
The interesting bit is when it's actually him not being like CGI'd around.
Yeah.
The fight scene, the fight scene on the boat is great, or the when he's a police officer.
When he's sort of trying to infiltrate it. I did like the bit where he
when he's infiltrating.
a guy sort of thinks he notices him and starts walking towards him, so he climbs up over a balcony and then comes back down behind the guy.
Great.
There's a lot of really slick little Jackie Chan moves in this, rather than like the fight scenes are fine the wire work is just OTT with the superhero stuff.
When he has powers for it.
The kid confused the shit out of me. Why can he sometimes walk? That was my number one burning question.
What do you mean? Why can he sometimes walk?
Well, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he's carried, and sometimes he walks.
It depends.
I think
on
it's because he
whether
can't
or not
run
the bad guys
fast
have
enough.
him.
No, I think it's because he can't run fast enough. Because he's a child, so they carry him. Because he is a small child. He's but a boy. He's but a powerful, religious boy.
Cutting to nearer the end, when does he become British?
He's always British. He always speaks like that for some reason.
But he doesn't speak at the start. And then when he starts to speak, like he sort of implies that he doesn't actually speak any English. And then by the end, he's like,
he speaks in
Father.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's still better than the fucking terrible dubbing that a bunch of the other characters have.
I mean, if you're against dubbing, maybe we shouldn't watch Jackie Chan films.
No, like, it's not
They
that
are
I'm against
not
dubbing, but
dubbed
this was worse than Kung Pao dubbing. It was mainly the main, not the main Chinese bad guy that was after the boy. Like, his voice was awful.
Oh, the guy in the bowler hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like a proper anime villain.
Yeah.
It really cracked me up. He, like, what I have, he's trying to be this sort of subtle, basically, like, mafia guy, a smuggler, but he wears, like, the most distinctive outfit ever.
Yeah. And he's working for some white guy named Snakehead who wants the boy for some reason, and then it turns out that the medallion can grant powers and immortality. But it's fine because you only have to have it for like 5 minutes of the film.
If you have half of it, because Jackie Chan is killed. So Lee Evans is in this film.
There is also a woman.
Yeah, she's been in like nothing else as well. Yeah. Because I was like, she looks familiar, and then I was like, well, I guess I was wrong.
She gets powers as well at some point. I don't know, but Lee Evans is in this film, and I feel like
it was so weird. He's not a convincing Interpol agent.
He's not an action star. He's not an action comedian. Like, he's not an action actor, but he's very funny in this. When he's allowed to be him, he's very funny. When
he's given free reign, you can tell because he's doing very much Lee Evans stuff, but then he's very stiff and wooden when he's doing those like lines he's got to deliver.
Yeah, he can't really act that well.
It was just a romp, really.
Yeah. The film is mostly Jackie. It's kind of a reverse of the Tuxedo, where, again, Jackie Chan is being a good police officer, cut to Lee Evans being an idiot. The biggest example of this is when they're in the, like, underground temple to get to, like, at the very beginning of the film, where they go to grab the kid.
Yeah, because Jackie Chan's gone to actually save the kid, and Lee Evans is just bursting into different small rooms.
Intercutting with Lee Evans, and like turning a corner and aiming his gun at Buddha.
Yeah.
Statue of Buddha. It's good. I like that kind of intercutting between Jackie Chan and a funny thing. That's peak.
Yeah, I think he was good comic relief. But it was a shame that they had a character, like, if they'd given him just full free reign, I think he would have been way more convincing. But the fact that he kept on having to go back to deliver these really bad fake British sounding lines, it's like someone's not British writing these lines for them to deliver. It's like, well, that's a ruddy big mistake, and it's like, he wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, it's like they cut him every now and then. He's not the comic relief. Like, he becomes a very serious character every now and then, and it's not. It doesn't work. Just let Lee Evans be Lee Evans. But they save the kid. They get the kid. Then Jackie and the kid get trapped in a box.
It's like a shipping container, yeah.
Shipping container, that's what. The shipping container gets knocked over the edge.
In
into the
Dublin,
sea.
by the way. We're
Yeah,
in
we're in
Dublin.
Yeah,
Dublin.
we're
Yeah,
in Dublin for
yeah.
some reason.
It's
Because
important to note because there are no Irish people
no
in this
Irish
film.
people in
No.
this film. But Dublin is where Lee Evans lives.
Mhm.
But yeah, the water's filling up. The thing's filling up with water. He sticks the kid in a tent.
Yeah, it's like an inflatable tent.
Yeah. Seals it. Dies. Drowns. The kid is like touches him with the medallion.
And nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Nothing happens, and then Lee Evans is in the morgue where Jackie Chan's dead, and then Jackie Chan's just is there and starts talking to him.
Lee Evans has the medallion, so he brings it back, and I think
Yeah,
that's
he's
probably what's
got
supposed
like
to wake him up.
half of it or something. Yeah, because there's a half with a snake on it and a half with a dragon on it.
Yeah, the kid breaks in half, gives half to Jackie.
No, but he's got the whole thing at that point.
When does the kid break it in half?
He gives when they go to visit the kid in the hospital.
Oh yeah, he breaks it.
Jackie Chan tries to give it back, and instead the kid gives him half.
Yeah.
This kid has this power to fuse the medallion together, which then grants immortality.
Yes, and he can split it, so it only grants half immortality. I don't know.
Don't forget, you can also use the medallion to reverse the life that it gave.
Yeah. Look, he's a kid actor. Leave him alone.
Yeah, what about
There's a
the
reason-
guy in the tie-dye shirt that also says it pretty much in the same tone?
Yeah, there is a pretty fantastic scene where they have Skype.
Yeah, it was so cool.
And they have all these experts on, and they're trying to find out more about the medallion.
And one of them's like, "Man, you'll never believe this. What you've got there is the ultimate object of Eastern mythology."
Yeah, which has come into the movie at the 45-minute mark when this movie is an hour and a half, including credits.
Were you hungry when you watched this movie? Why? I don't get it. Why did this not tick your boxes?
It was taking so long to get to anything actually happening that, yeah, at the point where he actually, he does something with the medallion to give him powers, I checked to see how far into the movie it was, and I was like, how is this, only just happening for a movie called The Medallion? I just expected more of the medallion, you know?
No, I'm glad the medallion wasn't in it that much. Because again, the fight scenes after the medallion, shit.
Yeah, because Jackie gets basically the superpower of the frame rate is sped up, and also if he gets stabbed, he doesn't.
Yeah, he can't die. He has to be
Did
strength.
enjoy the scene where he finds out he's immortal, though. So he goes back to the kid, and then he notices but he notices that the nurse is wearing pretty nice boots.
Yeah, he's like, nurses don't wear boots.
He's like, she has nice boots, and then Lee Evans is like, he goes to gesture his chest, and he's like, no, boots on her feet.
Yeah, because Jackie's like, do you see the nurse? And Lee Evans like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did see the nurse. She's got nice boots. Yeah, she. Again,
but the fight scene in the hospital I thought was really solid.
Yeah, that was just Lee Evans being Lee Evans, sort of thing. And then he learns that he's immortal, and then he tells Lee Evans, and Lee Evans
getting
shot,
him. And nothing happens. It hurts him, but he doesn't die, and he's like, I should be definitely very dead.
Yeah, and then you get a brilliant scene between him and Lee Evans where he tells Lee Evans he's immortal, and Lee Evans just stabs him. Just takes a knife and stabs
at first
him.
he's like, hit me, and Lee Evans is like, no, I won't hit you. And then he's like, Lee Evans gives him the most pathetic tap, and then he's like, hit me with this, and it's a bedpan.
Yeah, and there's just a sound effect of piss falling out of it before it hits him as well.
So gross. It really threw. I wasn't expecting it to actually be full. But then Lee Evans is really reluctant to hit him, but then he's impressed, and then he starts stabbing him, and he really goes ham.
Yeah, well, the best thing about the hitting, because again, Lee Evans is having little remarks, brilliant, when he says Jason's like, hit me, it won't hurt. Lee Evans like, it won't hurt you.
Yeah, I could hurt a finger.
I could break a finger. He gives him a knife and he just stabs and goes, oh wow, and then just keeps stabbing him.
The bad guy in this also has the most evil guy lair I've ever seen. It's like a destroyed castle, like a castle ruin on the edge of a cliff, and he's underneath it.
I feel like, is that a famous place near Dublin, or?
Don't know.
But it definitely, I just want to say, definitely cannot get a helicopter in there. Despite what the film
definitely
leads
not.
you to.
Oh, you mean the awkward CGI helicopter can't go in a cave?
The helicopter was clearly wider than the hole.
Yeah.
It was just an odd choice. It's like, when it's a CGI helicopter, just make it a bit
bit
Smaller?
smaller.
Make
Yeah.
it bigger.
Also, so there's a point in this where the woman, I think her name's Nicola, is looking after the child. I won't say the boy because we'll think it's a porcelain
Brom.
kid.
Brom.
And she gives him kiwis, which is fair enough. And then she's like, "I'm gonna make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." And I'm like, no British person would ever call it that.
No.
Like,
No, this was written by an American, and I
Yeah.
don't
It's
know
also
how
one
many...
of those things where it's like, she's a woman, but she can't actually cook because she's, got a job,
She's an Interpol agent.
which was a bit lame.
yeah, she also doesn't know that Jackie Chan is alive at that point, and then she sees him
Yes.
out the window.
It did crack me up that I think he just doesn't know how to tell her that he's alive yet. They haven't quite. I mean, he's only just really come into terms with it himself.
Yeah, because him and her used to have a
um,
thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee Evans then has to basically pretend that he took out everyone in the hospital.
Yeah.
You missed honestly my favorite part of this film. It's that scene where Lee Evans is stabbing him over and over and over, and you just see a nurse in the background in the little window in the door, and she just she looks like a chicken. She has such a strange face. She's obviously shocked, and then she just faints. It was just it absolutely killed me.
Little bits of this film are good. I don't care damn what you say. We're going to enjoy this.
you're allowed to enjoy it. I just really
this
did
film was
not.
going to go in a couple of different directions, and it's a shame that it didn't, because I think there would have been more fun. But I thought there was going to be kind of maybe an Edge of Tomorrow vibe with Jackie Chan, where he was going to keep dying, trying to save the boy, and the boy would keep having to bring him back, which I thought would have been more fun and a better use of the medallion.
Yeah. The medallion would have been brought up more, yeah. But then
And I also thought there was going to be the buddy cop vibe was going to be that Jackie Chan had to keep pretending he was dead so that the smugglers didn't come after him.
Yeah.
And then Eddie would keep on having to, not Eddie, he's called Eddie. Whatever Lee Evans' character is called would have to
Watson.
keep on pretending that. Oh yeah, of course. Had to keep on pretending that he'd done all these fantastic feats of taking people down.
Ooh, we do learn at one point that Liam's character is married, and
she
his
thinks
wife...
he's a librarian.
Yeah, his wife doesn't know he's a librarian. Yeah, because that's the big thing is they have to convince Lee Evans, because he's Interpol, that they should stay on the case.
Yeah, they have
And
to
he
suck
can't-
up to him. So the only reason he's still involved is that they're not allowed to continue on the mission without him.
Yeah. And he is like, I am head librarian. I am head librarian. Yeah, because his wife doesn't know he's a thing. But then it turns out in a later scene where they get attacked because
Lee Evans' house gets attacked,
Yeah.
and it turns out she's definitely some sort of agent as well.
Yeah, she's like a police force with a shotgun and a riot shield.
It's a very Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of scenario
I
with
want-
the two of them.
I kind of want that film. I kind of want Lee Evans.
It's called Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
No, I want Lee Evans kind of bad Interpol agent with Kirkar's wife. Both of them pretending to not be. Yeah,
I feel like
want
she
that.
knows he's not a librarian,
Yeah.
and he has absolutely no idea that she's a spy.
I want Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but British comedy film, British comedy action film. That's what I want, because I think that's great with Lee Evans in.
Bring Lee Evans out of retirement.
Bring
for
Lee Evans out of
specifically that.
retirement one last time for this weird ass film, for the remake of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, starring Lee Evans and someone else. That's what I want. That's what everyone should want, really. But yeah, this film's bizarre because the ending,
So they get to the ending.
they jump the shark is what they do.
They get to the ending very fast. They're like, the bad guy now he's immortal as well, and then they have to try and find the bad guy, and they found the bad guy.
He captures the boy. He kills himself in front of the boy. The boy brings him back, which it's funny because I'm like, surely the boy at that point could just be like, nah.
Yeah, he could have
Yeah.
just not.
Because he knows the boy has to. The boy holds life sacred. That's part of his
Okay.
thing. So he has to bring someone. If he has to. So which is why he kills himself in front of him, and then he gets brought back, and he's like, "I am immortal now," and
He's immediately very pompous about it and starts calling
Yeah.
everyone else sort of mere mortals and being very
yeah,
I'm better than everyone.
the kid's like, "You're not though. You fucking ain't though, because this is only half the medallion. This is only the map bit. You need to go and get the medallion."
Yeah, this is the bring you back medallion side.
Yeah,
You haven't got
yeah.
the
You have superpowers. You're not immortal. I think was the thing. So he goes, fights Jackie Chan in the woods. A weird scene where they have a fight in the woods.
Yeah,
and
it's
he
like
steals the
wire work of running away, and then I think he like kills someone and they make a noise like a TIE fighter from Star Wars.
Yep.
It's such a
Yep.
weird scream.
Yeah. Well, no, he because he grabs for some reason when he grabs the medallion out of Jackie Chan's pocket, he screams like he's in an immense amount of pain.
Maybe it's because he's dead.
Yeah. And then he takes the medallion, flies away. They go and fight him in a castle. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, it's like the top castle-y bit rather than the cave bit.
Yeah, and then there's just like a weird sexist moment.
Oh yeah, the cat fight where there's an actual meow.
There's
before
a
the two women fight.
literal catty sound in the background.
So the woman that's been with them the entire time fights the evil woman who is dressed as a nurse with boots on. And it's so they're both trained fighters, like in the film. They're both trained fighters, but it's still like there's still like a cat. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, that was one of the big yeesh moments.
Yeah, and then they have like an actual fight, but it's just like.
And then she gets our girl, the girl on Jackie Chan's side, gets flung down the room and killed.
Yeah, because she grabs the medallion, tries to run away. She grabs the medallion and the kid, tries to run away. The guy, because he is superpowered, runs after her. Launches her into the air. Because and then starts...
And then Jackie Chan, instead of going to catch her, goes and catches the medallion?
Yeah.
Which was like, mate, that was not a good call.
Long-term goal. The medallion does one thing.
Yeah, true. It's one of those... I think that's the frustrating thing about the powers of this medallion, is that it makes all the deaths in the film kind of a bit meaningless.
Yeah. But yeah, Jackie Chan and Evil Guy have superhero fight. Stupid superhero. Again, like the wirework fights, shit.
They're really shit.
They're
and
really
so
badly
much
done.
Point of view, camera angles,
It's so shit.
It's actually a bit nauseating to watch as well.
Yeah. Considering you've got Jackie Chan. Same problem with the tuxedo. You've got Jackie Chan. Like, do Jackie Chan things.
Stop just doing something really sped up.
Really
badly sped up sometimes
there
too.
There was a weird Escher staircase kind of thing going on where like the bad guy was like underneath the staircase and stuff. It was like, okay. They never really established exactly what superpowers they have.
No. It's a cool visual. Like, that would have been cool in a different film. Not this one. But
yeah, it was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, the end of this film just felt kind of underwhelming. The end of the film felt great because it was the actual like ending is amazing because the kid brings the woman back to life. They're like superpowered in love and then you have Lee Evans walk up to the kid.
Which mentioned that they do manage to kill the bad guy by throwing the medallion at his throat.
Yeah, and then a CGI snake and a CGI dragon come out and kill him.
Yeah.
But they look like fish.
And
very, very weird.
And the kid's just kind of sitting there staring like, Yeah.
But yeah, so he brings the woman back, and then Lee Evans, which at this point, this scene, they just let Lee Evans be Lee Evans. Because he's like walking over to the kid like, oh, I'm dying. Oh.
I've got a bit of a cough, any day now.
Give me the medallion. Let me just touch her. Brilliant.
Just a touch, just a little bit. Yeah, that was very funny.
And then they disappear off into a portal.
And Lee Evans is like, well, that was weird.
Lee Evans is like, they just walked into a portal. I don't know what to do. What is going on?
It's like for this bit, they didn't actually give Lee Evans a script. It was just, this just happened, go.
No,
like, you've got to get out of here somehow, work it out.
Yeah. But the bit of him going like, I'm done any day now. It's really funny.
Just begging with this kid to give him superpowers. It was really funny. It was really silly.
Because to be fair, like, everyone around him now has superpowers. Everyone around him is better than him.
I mean, they were anyway, yeah.
Yeah, now they're super better than him. I'm dying. Brilliant. I want to watch another Lee Evans film tonight.
Mouse Hunt was good.
I miss him. I miss his comedy.
His stand up was great. I literally almost died watching one of his stand up bits. It's the one where he's at the O2, and I'd just taken like a big mouthful of tea where he's like, bats are blind, but they come out at night. What's the difference? And you know when you've got a mouthful and you can't laugh but you can't swallow it.
Yeah.
And you're just in that constant moment of what do I do?
He was really good. I'm glad he retired, just because it's like...
Yeah, it would be sad doing that forever.
Yeah.
And, like, until it got old.
Yeah. He just kind of kept his opinions
British
to
comedy
himself.
knows when to quit.
Sometimes. So, I'm not going to ask you, Dan. I don't know, out of 10.
Oh,
Because this is a tricky one, because...
I know it's bad, but I did enjoy it. This film could have been a lot better.
Oh,
And the yeesh moments, like, there's some gay jokes in it that were a bit... Ugh, and the cat fight thing was a bit... Ugh, and the...
Yeah.
But, I don't know, like, I'd give this 5 missed opportunities to do a terrible Irish accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I like I said, like I never really watched Jackie Chan films growing up. Like they weren't too violent. I guess my mum was always like, "Well, it's fighting films, isn't it?"
That's fair. A lot of them.
And I think my mum did let me watch Flying Tiger, Hidden Dragon when I was really young, and I just found it boring.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a drama.
It's a bit heavy
film.
for a 7-year-old.
Yeah, you're not going to take in all the information that film has to give you. I think I agree. Out of 5, I think 5 is the right choice, because it has all the problems a Tuxedo does, which is it could have just been tweaked and been really good. It has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential to be.
Yeah, they didn't
really
make the
good.
most out. It's the same with the tuxedos. Where they don't make the most out of the tuxedo, and they don't make the most out of the medallion.
No,
it could have easily been like averagely normal Jackie Chan, and then when he gets the medallion, he's actually really good martial artist and stuff like that. Like,
the problem is the medallion does too much. The medallion does, like, you get extra your immortal superpowers. No, because then that takes away all of the, like, worry. All of the stuff that makes Jackie Chan, which is his weakness.
Exactly. Why not have one half give you better fighting and the other half give you immortality, and one of them gets one and the other one gets the other, and they have to...
Or you just get better fighting and then you have good fight scenes.
Yeah, have actual good fight scenes and have less setup so that then you have more time for fight scenes.
Yeah, you don't have, like, superpowers. You just have good fight scenes. Yeah, they could have done a lot more. I still think it's better than the Tuxedo. I think the Tuxedo is a lot more irritating. But yeah, I fully agree.
But I think it's because he's also playing a very frustratingly dumb character.
Yeah, and he doesn't have Lee Evans in it, who like when he gets to be
cool
funny,
British dude spends most of the time in a coma.
Yep. And when he gets to be funny, Lee Evans is really funny in this. He's very rarely allowed to be funny.
Yeah, it feels like they probably took loads of takes and they then didn't choose the funniest ones each time.
Yeah, like they do it scriptedly, and then it feels weird calling him Lee. and then you can do like some improv stuff, and they just ignored the improv stuff. They shouldn't have.
And then sometimes had all of the improv in one scene instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dan, what's your out of 10? Because it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy this. Like, I mean, I know the Tuxedo wasn't great, but this was probably worse for me. 2. And I've been Dan.
No, I mean, fair. It is a bizarre film. It is a really weird film.
Yeah, I think, I say most of my problem is that, like, Jackie Chan's already pretty competent, and so the fact that he just becomes sped up is really sort of disappointing. And just the amount of time it takes to, like, for the amount that it built up to the medallion actually doing something, for it then to just speed up what Jackie Chan is already doing, I was like, this is not that entertaining, really. Like, definitely not a watch again kind of one. I think if I was flicking through and this was the only thing on telly, I'd turn the telly off and go outside.
This would make you go outside.
It's the only way.
Well,
disappointing.
Yeah, not a great one, unfortunately, but yeah, it happens. So.
Sometimes we have wrong opinions, Dan, and that's fine. Sometimes...
Mikey.
Yeah.
You still friends with Dan?
Yeah, he just has wrong
I
opinions.
promise.
We all have wrong opinions every now and then. Some more than
Like
others.
how you guys don't like the Black Cauldron.
Yeah, the Black Cauldron was fine. I'd rather watch the Black Cauldron than this.
I mean, the Black Cauldron was very boring. But yeah, like I said, we all have wrong opinions.
You definitely do.
The most passive-aggressive argument ever.
Yeah, well, before
And with that,
before
I've been Helena.
before this podcast gets cancelled, I've been Dan.
I've been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast for now on Twitter and Instagram at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well, so you can come and tell me that I'm wrong and that the Medallion is amazing and that
No, the
stealing
Medallion
on
is
Remind
Jack-
you that
amazing.
he's wrong.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm wrong because I won't.
I can't. No, don't tell me I'm wrong. I can't take it. I'm not in the mind space for that right now.
Just come and give us all appreciation. That's why we put our voices online once a week, is because we want people to tell us we're good.
We want people to tell us we're funny in particular.
And while
Funny
you're telling
is
us
the
we're
word
good,
we're
you could
looking
also
for.
give us money. We've got Patreon.
That may be the worst thing.
That was bad.
That made me feel sick. Anyway, for the Patreon this week, we are going to go and find a magical medallion. We're going to go find the most important part of Eastern mythology, the magical
We're going
medallion.
to rob a temple.
We're going to
Rob
find a
Temple.
small Asian child and steal him.
Look, guys, I'm trying to frame it in a friendlier way, but we are
I reckon I
going...
could make those two bits of the medallion stick together. They didn't say you can't use super glue.
That's true. Or a weld, or like a welding thing. Great, be
Bit
fine.
saran wrap.
We don't need the child. We just need his medallion.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you did need the child.
Do you need the child, or do you just need the?
I thought you needed the child to put them together.
Guys,
I
this
mean,
is
the
far
child
more-
has got the medallion, so...
Guys, this is far more complicated than I don't want to do kidnapping.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's a good point.
you've lost your spirit.
I don't want to kidnap a religious leader just to get their medallion, just to get their jewelry. Feels like a bad move.
So we've got to then
So what we're
make
going to
our
do...
own medallion.
We're going to
Make our own.
go down the pawn shop and buy a second-hand medallion.
I don't know where I thought that section.
Not that kind of...
I'm going to be honest, guys. I didn't think this through. I may have not thought this through entirely.
That's alright, it suits
But
the movie.
it turns out we're going to have to kidnap a child.
Yeah, but only
Right,
for a
you
bit.
Your money's going towards kidnapping a child, not children, just the one. We just need the one with the medallion.
Provided we get the right one first.
This is me talking to the room.
Yeah, don't worry.
This is me
Once we've got the
talking to the
medallion, we'll put him in a
church.
shipping container and send him back.
This is how you explain it to the church when we get there. Excuse, we just need the one with the medallion. No,
Showing up
what
at
do you
different
mean,
schools. Any of these kids got a medallion? No?
Hey, Dan, don't do that, Dan. Please don't do that.
No, don't do that. Just explaining to a police officer. Just
Yeah,
need
we're
one.
not really interested in the kid per se. We just want the medallion.
But he asked that we need the kid. Oh man, we're gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna get in trouble.
But that's what we're gonna do with your money. So you will also get in trouble with us, listener.
Aiding
You're
and
funding
abetting.
You're funding this,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, invest at your own risk. I
No,
guess.
no, it's a good. We turned this into a threat. We just like, hey, please, now you're complicit.
I mean, the good thing is once we have the medallion, the podcast will become 4 times faster.
Yeah,
So
but I like that we've gone from please donate to our Patreon to you're fucking complicit to our crimes.
Yeah. You're knowingly going into it. We're just being honest.
Just being honest, this is what every podcast does with your money. They use it to kidnap children. Is that libel?
I haven't said specifically.
Allegedly. There we go, we're fine.
I'm Michael. Sorry, I'll say that again.